My name is Jim Steiner. I've been involved in I moved back to Dauphin from Winnipeg, originally from Grandview. I moved to Winnipeg in 1969, came back to Dauphin. I love the area. It's parks all the way around us, and it's not the rat race to see. So I came back in '73, and I worked for Risley Plumbing and Heating for a number of years, and then in '79 I went on my own and formed Steiner Plumbing and Heating. The company is still in business. My son-in-law and my daughter Carla have taken it over, and it's over 40 years old now, so I'm really proud of that fact. And during that time, I got involved with the station restoration, and really proud of the way it's turned out.
Hey, my name is Jack Shmon. I spent 37 years on the railroad. I worked many days in this CN station, and in 1998 we started the restoration of the station, and Jim was quite involved with it, and we went a long way to get where we are today with this museum. And it's been a long grind, but we've had a lot of help from everybody. There's many people we could mention, but we'd have a long list from that.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you both meet?
Well, when I moved back here in 1994, after I retired, I needed some plumbing done in my house. I needed a new shower downstairs. And Jim came over, and he seen my rail collection that I had sitting on the wall, and he was there for about 2 hours asking me all about trains. Never did get the plumbing done.
Hey, I did so, Jack.
No, that's how we met, and we've been friends ever since.
So, Jim, did you have a tie into rail history, or just been a fan, or what drew you to that?
I had none whatsoever. I'm just very interested in history, and this building is certainly historic, and it's a beautiful building. So it was in disarray. There's broken windows. There's so much wrong. Bricks missing. Chimney was falling apart, and we had a chance to. Jack was involved originally getting the ball rolling that we should restore this station, and I thought, Jack, I want to be part of this. I want to help you. And it turns out we just co-chaired the project, and like Jack said, we had lots of help along the way, and it was just it was fairly easy. It just took time.
So what year would that have been?
We started about 1998. About 1998, maybe discussion a little earlier, but in earnest about 1998, and it really took off in the millennial year 2000.
We spent a lot of time cleaning this place up. It was a terrible mess.
Mm-hmm.
The west, we're in the east end of the station here where our museum is, but the west end there, somebody tried to burn it down. There was a big burn mark in the carpet there because we were having sort of like a little opening day, and my wife and I went there. We got a rug cleaner from, I believe it was Safeway, and we scrubbed that whole rug down, but somebody had tried to burn it down. Fortunately, the rug wouldn't burn, and
fire retardant.
Yeah, so it kind of saved our station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a success in restoration of the building in its current state now, but leading up to that, was there much resistance? We see the success that we have here today, but was there much resistance along the way to restore it?
Well, we started out and with an idea that this building cannot be demolished. It's so worthwhile saving. And there certainly were naysayers that you guys are crazy, it's going to cost too much, but it wasn't going to happen, Jack. We're going to restore this thing.
Yeah. There was people, like he says, I mean, the city was sort of, I guess you could say, bucking us and, saying, as he says, it's going to cost too much. This station was built for $38,000, and we spent $1.4 million in the restoration. Well, it had to be brought up to fire code, safety, fire escapes. We had to put an elevator in it, or in the design, and that's a lot of money. And I mean, the restoration outside, we had bricklayers from Brandon. We had Carlson Cleaning from Winnipeg that come and washed all our bricks.
Sandblast.
Sandblasted the signs on top there where it says CNR, and that stands for Canadian Northern, not Canadian National. And it was a tremendous amount of work for all. I mean,
mm-hmm.
The bricklayers, they come up from Brandon. We got our bricks to restore this building from the Surrey station. I believe that was a CPR station.
Yeah.
They tore it down, and I think they gave us the bricks.
They did, and they were a perfect match, same era.
Yeah.
So the chimney was too short and not finished properly at the top, like the era chimney that was built. But across the road here is the Watson Art Center, and the chimney there matched the chimneys from the photos from the old station photos. So we were able to, the bricklayer could check the bricks across the street, and we.
You remember those? There was two older guys in that bricklaying crew, and they looked at that chimney's wrong. So they went up, and as you can see in that chimney, before it used to go straight up, now they built it out like this and back upward to the original status of the chimney. And these guys were great, and when they were cleaning these bricks here, they had a bunch of young fellows working, and there's a guy I come here one day, and he's doing the sandstone right at the top where the big sheaves of grain are in the CNR. And I says, "What are you doing up there? You're too old for that. Can't let these kids do it." He says, "One mistake and they blow a hole through it because of the sandstone." He says, "It's sandstone and very light." He says, and he was up there like a jeweler when he just working away there with the air and the sand.
With the broken bricks and everything else, the bricks from Souris were a perfect match, and we replaced a lot of broken bricks, and the chimney was just part of it. But it saved the building. We were able to do it exactly.
The Souris bricks came out of Gilbert Plains, wasn't there a big?
There was, but I don't know if they came from Gilbert. I'm not sure, Jack.
Yeah, but the perfect match.
We're lucky.
So I'd asked the question about if there was much in the way of negativity or resistance. So obviously you persevered. So how did you gather the group of people that wanted to be involved in saving the station? Was it just word of mouth? Was there a call to action? How did that work?
A lot of us were, all of us word of mouth. When people found out what we were doing, people showed up and wanted to get involved. They said, "Tell me what I can do, and I'd be glad to help." And we got all the help we needed. And we even had people who couldn't get their hands dirty. They're not trades type people, but they were great on applying for grants and getting on the computer that we don't have time for, and that really helped us out a lot.
Yeah, Bev and Bob McKenzie, God bless them, they're both gone now, but they did a lot in here, and they were, I believe they were with the Dauphin Museum.
Yes.
And they helped us tremendously with stuff. And
yeah.
I mean, Bev McKenzie, she was a real hard worker for us.
They did so much for the community besides the station, but they took this on and helped us out a lot.
So, Jack, you having seen this building in full action in your time working in the railway, and then saw it basically vacant in the mid-90s, did you ever think that what you see today was possible at that point?
No, I figured they would knock this building down. I mean, I guess CN sold it to the city for nothing or gave it to them, and it was actually left here empty, and that's when they tried to burn it down or whatever it was. It was just, like Jim says, they broke a bunch of windows, and it was
So it sounds like it basically was a shell.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
There was stuff thrown in here and just a pile of rubble.
And when we got on with the fundraising, one of the things that really put us over the top was there was a Millennium Grant available through the federal government, and boy, that gave us a lot of money. I'm talking a couple $100,000, and they provided work through the unemployment office. They supplied tools, compressors.
Right.
We were able to buy that stuff, and it just got us going big time. And
so if it wouldn't have been around the change of the century there, perhaps those funds, or that amount of funds wouldn't have been
that's right.
available.
It helped a lot. It certainly would have dragged the project out, and that gave us a big boost.
Yeah.
In the demolition and the restoration.
Yeah.
And companies came forward too with donations, and
yes,
everyone was on side. There's very few naysayers, but the people that were against it didn't really see the big picture and what was capable when it's all done.
Which is one of the reasons I'm doing this, and only lived here 2 years and was gone for 20. But I've always, I love history as you all do, and appreciate the significance of this building, but also its uniqueness in rural Canada. There's not buildings like this.
Well, this is a Class 1 station, and this is the only one left in Canada like this. They had one in Saskatoon, I believe it was. They tore it down. There's a station in Thunder Bay in Port Arthur. It's identical to this, only the third floor is complete through the whole length of the building. It's a Class 1 station also, and built by Canadian Northern. And I think there's one in Warroad, Minnesota, that they have I think it's the same as this station.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of larger centers, and they've kept their old stations. They don't hold a candle to this station.
No.
It's so architecturally unique, and we're lucky to have this building.
Yeah. stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the building itself is a Provincial Heritage Building, and curious, so in talking to you previously, I believe that designation was given prior to the restoration. Is that as far as
It
you
would have happened
understand?
to been,
Yeah, just about the same time as we were starting to move forward with the project, and we got that designation, which made it important to restore the building.
Yeah, so if you can talk a little bit about just the architectural firm that was involved and kind of what they did.
Yes, we got a hold of Prairie Architects out of Winnipeg, and they specialized in the restoration of older buildings. So they've done a lot downtown Winnipeg in the core. They've done a few old buildings there, and they keep the brickwork, sandblasted brickwork inside, and it just keeps a unique look about the building. So when we contacted them, they were more than happy to take it on, of course. And Dudley Thompson, I believe the architect he came up and toured the building, and they had to keep it identical on the exterior to what it was historically, but the inside, we weren't sure how far they would go with it. We were hoping to keep it as much as we could original, but we knew there'd be some modifications to be able to rent spaces out. You couldn't have every little cubicle that was there, so we knew walls had to come down, and I was disappointed that the central staircase, Jack, that went up to the upper levels, that was impressive, and it went right at the front doors, but it got taken out because the elevators had to go in
Right, the elevator.
for handicap use, and that's the way it was. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. And that staircase, like you say, was beautiful. It was all solid oak.
It was solid oak, yeah. It was restorable, but somehow
whatever happened to it, I don't know. It was taken out, and as you
It was
say,
dismantled.
all the modifications.
Yeah.
Well, this was to bring everything up to, as you say, for the handicap,
Yeah.
for the elevator,
Yeah.
and then the fire codes. And,
Yeah.
Do we not have? There's no staircase at the other end, is there?
I don't think so, Jack. It's
Well, where's the
they
fire
put
escape?
stairs in the middle,
And
and
the far end,
is there a set of stairs back there? I can't
There's
remember.
gotta
to
be.
the basement.
No, there's got to be there. I'm sure there's stairs back there, but they because of the fire code or the fire escape, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the
Yes,
old
the
days, the
elevators
fire
were-
escapes we had steel ladders on the side of the building, on the outside,
Mm.
and that's when that's where I give those bricklayers a lot of
Mm-hmm.
credit because boy, they fixed that. These things were just drilled into the building anywhere and everywhere for steel ladders, and they just fixed everything right up.
Remember that fundraiser, Jack, we did? We built a replica of the station
Yes.
as a kids' playhouse.
Yeah.
It was very similar style,
Yeah.
and we even had metal roofing shingles off the old station. We put them on the playhouse, so it's really a good looking
Yeah.
playhouse, and we raffled it off, made a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
And I forget where it is now, but
So it's at Fork River, I think.
is that where it is?
Yeah.
It turned out really well.
Oh yeah, did
Yeah.
a beautiful job.
Mhm.
Didn't it?
But we're lucky to get metal shingles now that weren't far off from the original look of the
No,
shingles.
to
So,
match the ones on the roof, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
they had to be, eh? It was amazing.
and they're gray or silver like the old ones, and
Yeah.
and now they got a lot of years of life in them for sure.
Yeah.
You get the roof saved, you've saved the building basically for time.
So
Yeah.
how long did the whole restoration, in
Well,
timeline take place?
When did we have you were up at the bar when they had the grand opening.
Yeah.
What the heck?
No,
year
I made
was
it down, Jack.
No, you weren't here. Because that's the time Bev McKenzie.
Okay, I was here.
Excuse me.
Okay.
This was the only place that was open. That's where they held their little lunch.
Okay.
But all that rest of that was under construction.
I remember being out front, and you and I had.
No, that was a different occasion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I remember.
But we had this from here back was all under because
Yeah.
what was the guy's name? The guy for restoration and from the provincial government, Lemieux. Yeah, Lemieux, I think, because I took him on a tour of the building, and that's we were.
Dan
all,
Lemieux?
Pardon?
Dan?
I don't know. He was minister
Okay.
of this.
He's from Dauphin originally.
Yeah, and anyway, he wanted to go on a tour of the building, and I took him right from this floor to the third floor and
Mhm.
told him what was in the building, and
Mhm.
this was this, and this was
Mhm.
that. And I mean, and of course, Fisheries and Ocean took it over for 10 years. They paid the bills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the building and how it is now, or the restored version, do you have a favorite part of it, a favorite memory of the restoration process, anything that stands out?
Well,
Or is it just basically the
The whole-
building as a whole?
That's my feelings of the
Yeah.
building as a whole. But
Yeah.
when milestone moments finished, when the sandblast went and the chinking of the mortar was all done, it looked really good, and that was a major stepping stone. And the shingles, then it looked wow, and it took another couple of years, a year and a half, to do the inside. But boy, it looked really good. Windows were all replaced, and
So getting back to that timeline, what like say months or like when did it first start and
it'd
when
be in
was it kind of
02, Jack.
It'd have to be 02. When did we have that grand opening?
I think it was 2001.
It might have been one.
Some of the stuff that I've seen.
I think we had presentations out there for grants to that too, eh?
Mm-hmm.
As I can't remember the.
So you can't recall the actual start date when you started doing.
Well,
Too long, but
Yeah.
they started in here. It'd have to be
Well, how about
2000.
even you cleaning?
Oh,
stuff up there?
that started in 1998.
Yeah.
yeah.
We started.
Yeah.
We cleaned out all the old lighting. We sold all that, and
Mhm.
we had sort of like a garage sale in here, and we sold all kinds of stuff. The guys 8-foot light fixtures. How much? How much you gonna give us? $1 a piece. Sold. Got a stack of them at 25 or 30. You'd never get rid of them otherwise.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So that gives a sense of just really how long it did take because
Mhm.
you
It
were
took
doing
quite a while. I
personally
mean,
yourself.
we didn't do any actual construction, I guess, or
demolition.
demolition.
Mhm.
That was. I mean, we cleaned the place up so we
Yeah.
could show it off before anything had started. This was all original back here when we took
Mhm.
over. There was a waiting. This in here was a telegraph office,
Mhm.
just around in here,
Mhm.
and this was the baggage room. Then you had the waiting room. You had the where the bow window is. That was where the operator sat, and the ticket office was there. And then beyond that was car control, and then way back was Express. Well, Express has been out for quite some time, but you had. I mean, this station was full of people, just
Mhm.
full. I said,
Mhm.
you know, it was amazing. You know, I mean, the second floor was full of people. The third floor was full of people.
Mhm.
Once the dispatchers moved, and then 1995, I guess, is when they cleaned it out, and everybody left for Winnipeg or wherever they were going.
Mhm.
They shut down the shops here and the station.
It took a lot of cleaning, didn't it?
Oh,
Hauled a lot of stuff out of here.
a lot of garbage out of here.
Yeah.
Well, plus with windows broken and so on and so forth, so I don't know if birds were getting in.
That wasn't too big a problem.
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't too bad. It just, the longer you leave them like that, broken window syndrome kicks in, and
Yeah,
let's torch it now.
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
Or
just
like
in
you said,
time.
anytime like water, obviously you don't want to want water that
Yeah,
infiltrates
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah.
But Jim set up a room in here for the guys where they had a bathroom and they had a place to wash up, clean up,
That's right too. I forgot. about
and then what's his name overhauled the boiler. Fendick,
Keith, yeah.
Keith Fendick,
Mhm.
and
that was the boiler that was in here when we took over the building
yeah,
and
it's still
restored
there.
it. Yeah.
Still
Yep,
there, isn't it?
mhm,
Yeah, because they converted it to gas.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was quite the deal. When you look at that basement, you wouldn't. I mean,
Oh,
we
it
had
was a
that
mess.
big oil bunker down there.
That went out the side, didn't it?
Yep.
We knocked the hole out of the basement. They dragged that big old
Really?
tank out of there.
Wow.
This cement they bought of that.
asbestos
Hey?
sheeting in there. We had to take that all out.
Oh,
Or we
yeah.
didn't. They hired a contractor
Yeah.
to do it.
But the concrete floor was just crumbling in. It all got hammered out and repoured, and it was a big project.
Big undertaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be double that now.
Yeah.
Imagine the way prices are now.
All right, thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day and just telling some of the story of saving this beautiful building and how important it is to not only Dauphin's history, but really Canadian history. So
Mhm.
truly appreciate your time.
The
You're
pleasure
welcome,
was
Jason.
all ours.
Yeah. Pleasure is all
Yeah,
ours.
it gives
You're
us
right.
such a good feeling looking at it now. Just,
Excellent. Thank
We
you.
got many more stories too.
yeah, well, thank you.